Hey guys, so I'm in the dog room for a specific reason. Truman is doing really good at home. As far as I know, they're managing his impulses, his reactivity after his board and train, but they're not able to loosen up with him. Heaven forbid you have a little bit of fun with Truman and he just goes off the rails. And then you're right back to reactivity and slipping back, which I know that his owners really don't want to do. So they wanted to know some ways to kind of ease back in affection and some more freedom without having all of their really hard work and controlling their own emotions and just all that good stuff. They don't want it to go out the window. So what you do is you're gonna look for, say you're trying to add back in a little bit more fun. Settle down. That's Alberto. Say you're gonna add in a little bit more fun to your dog's routine, but then they're gonna just blow you off right away because they're like, woohoo, I'm getting to have fun now. It's easier to control your dog when you keep everything low key, even keel, but you gotta get back to some normalcy. So when you do that, when you give your dog some freedom, expect pushback. You might have to intervene with your dog, correct your dog in some way, be firmer with your dog, more than you've had to be in a long time because you're trying to loosen up. That's really common. So one of the times he's most excited is in crate that we've seen anyway. Truman, he's like so excited to get out and work and do things. He really loves people once he gets to know you. And of course he loves his owners. But here's the thing. So it's not in the morning. I meant to get a morning shot of this and I forgot this morning. So he's not gonna be as excited as normal. So I'm gonna be a little firmer with him than you normally would be. But he usually will bark at me hello in the morning, or he'll do like a little woo and just get super excited. I don't mind that, I really don't, except for the fact he pushes the threshold of crate, and I'll explain what that means and how, now that we're trying to add back in a little bit more fun and freedom and whatever the case is, how I'm gonna troubleshoot that. I'm gonna give him more freedom, but then hold him more highly accountable for not listening. So, I'm gonna start with this. Hey buddy. Normally, I would, as soon as I go to touch the latch, I would get a bark or excitement. So I'm not gonna get that. So I'm not gonna be able to correct that. But what I bet he'll do, he's been doing it consistently, is push the threshold as soon as I open it. So normally, there's a couple things we normally do. Be like a 5, 6, 7. Truman knows what no means. I don't usually need to correct that. So I would usually be at like a 5, 6, 7, no and tap if he had gear on. Or I would just, you know, shut the door kind of firmly, like not super firm, but like just making a point, have him back off and settle. Well, I did that the first day or two, and he really ignored it, honestly. So I'm gonna make more of an impression on him and do something firmer, and I am gonna show you what that looks like, even though he's not near as excited right now as he was this morning. Just so you know, he barked at me. He was very excited when I opened the door, and he also was like, his nose was like right here when I opened the door, and I said no and tapped at a 30. And for him, that's a correction. He was like, whoa, and he laid down and waited, and then we slowly healed out, and then he got to go into the yard and play fetch. So it's not that I'm like not letting him have fun, just holding him accountable for his emotions at a higher level than normal because he's getting more freedom. All right, so because I already corrected him at a 30, I'm gonna kind of be at a, let's try 10. If this was fresh and I hadn't have done that at a 30 this morning, probably be at like a 20 midday. No? So you see that little head twitch he did? That was the 10, no and tap. I know it looks like, I know for so many of you, you're like, it doesn't look like he's doing anything wrong. But that's the thing, is I want to find these small moments of pushing boundaries to be firm with him so I can loosen up with him in other areas. I'm going to explain more on this, but in another way. But when I opened this up, I probably should have been right here because he immediately was about to stick his nose out. Just that forward motion, I want to shut it down. Not allowed. Calm and crate or you don't come out. So just kind of having a little bit more accountability here. Now the other thing I could have done, let me just kind of walk away. Just kind of walk away. Good boy. Hey, Truman. Good job. Nope. So I shut that firmly.
And he actually did not back away very quickly. I don't know if you could see that, but I shut that pretty firmly, and it didn't even slam because his nose, he didn't back up. So this is actually something we noticed earlier too, is he's not respecting this door very much, which means I can't use it to help him, you know, reset himself without really, you know, slamming it, see? Now that's what I want, actually. I don't always want to have to do that big slam, of course, but that's what I want. I just want some respect for the threshold to help settle him down before he's even allowed to come out. Now again, I understand how this seems harsh to you guys. You wonder, well, he's just a little excited. He's still listening. Why are you doing this? Well, I'm working the dog that I know, and the dog that I know gets highly aroused at every little thing, spins out of control, becomes highly reactive, and can't function on a walk. So I know this dog. That's what I'm dealing with. And now he's doing so amazing. He's doing so good, right? All these improvements. We want to get back to some normalcy. One of the best ways to do that is revisit the small moments just like this. All right, so this is part one. See, look at that. We couldn't even do this on his first day. He was being way too pushy. And I didn't want to correct him right away. I kind of wanted to ease him back into things. I could have corrected him right away. He would have been fine, but I wanted to ease him back in. And work on this a little bit slowly. Wanted to kind of get a good handle on what's going on with him. And what's going on with him is just these small moments. He's just pushing because he's not being held accountable firmly enough. Ooh, look at that yawn. He's like, whew, this is tough stuff. Truman, come. Come, good. I mean, look how good he's doing. I mean, he can off-leash heel through the house. I mean, it's incredible. His owners have done an amazing job. Heel. But here's the problem, guys. Obedience, even though this is fantastic, this is a great step. Look at that auto sit. The thing is, obedience doesn't always calm the mind. The obedience doesn't always trump the emotion that he's feeling. In order to get him to trump the emotion that he's feeling, I go after the little moments of jitteriness, excitement, pushing a boundary. I can create excitement. He can't do it on his own. That's what I'm trying to get across here. I'll explain what I mean. Break. Yay, good boy.
All right, guys, so this level of the fun is a little bit different. I want to be in control of the fun, and I want to give him, come, please. I want to give him a great on-off switch. So on being really high energy, woohoo! And then an off switch, shut down, go to the bed, chill out. So earlier, I think it was yesterday, we were in the yard, he was getting really amped up, and he wouldn't do a clean drop it, and then he didn't want to lay down for more than a half a second. Corrected him at 30. He barked, because he does that. He likes to bark, kind of back at you. He's like, oh, fine. And then after that, he really settled down. He was a little unsure. He's like, what can I do? I'm a little unsure about this. Well, that's okay. I got him a little amped up again. Still was a little rocky. Come back in this morning. He's right back to playing, but he's more obedient. So I can amp him up, and I'm in control of it. So I become in control of the excitement, which makes for a more trustworthy relationship, and we can have more fun, and then I can also shut it down if I need to, if it gets out of control. That's the goal behind this exercise. Oh, yes. Break. Get it. Break. Get it. Oh, yes. So lots of on motion, like I'm really moving my arm. Oh, yeah. Get it. He can, yeah. Oh, yeah. Get it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm going to step on the bed because it's sliding. Good job. Now I'm going to hold it nice and still. Drop it. Good boy. And then even if the bed wasn't here, the bed helps with this a lot, the dog bed. If he was outside, I would just say down, and that's what we've been working on. But in here, the dog bed can help center him. Break. Good boy. Come, please. Good job. Get it. Okay. Yeah, get it. Oh, get it. Oh, mine. So I can get him amped up as I want. Yes. Okay, get it. He does tend to sometimes bite my hand accidentally. So we have been trying to work on that. Been trying to teach him how to grab a bigger toy in the middle. Break. And he's doing better with it. This is a smaller one that I know he likes a lot, so that's why I wanted to use it for the video. Woo, that was my finger. But he backed off. That's all right.
But my point is just that I want to be in control of this. Good job. Drop it down. Good. And then I want to be able to do this. So this is what we were working on with the 30 the other day, because he was getting so amped. Now I'm only at a 5. He's got to wait for the release word. Break. Yeah, he knows. Oh, good job. Good job, bud. Good job. So I move it. I'm really part of the fun. I can really stand up and get into this. And then grab it, bud. There you go. And then I just tuck my elbow in real tight, hold it still, drop it, drop it. So when I repeated myself, I tapped at a 5. Oh, to you too. Yesterday when he was so amped up, I tried a 20 and he dropped it quickly, but then he came back and he wouldn't drop it again the next time either. And he does understand what drop it means. Because he'll let go of it and then do the nibble, like, oh my God, I just can't help it. And so I went from a 20 to I think a 30 or 35. So anyway, guys, I'm just giving you these ideas because if you don't want to go right for like the 50, you do want to play around to see what will be valuable. And then in the next lesson, you know those levels that are valuable. That way you can do it one time. And then if they kind of really calm down quite a bit and they're not really sure what to do, just give them a break and then go out and do it again later in the day or the next morning and they'll probably be fine. Break! Good job, bud. Yay, come, place. Few other techniques. You can do this outside if you don't have the space to do it inside, but there are like some little tweaks. Got a fuzz on him. But there are some little tweaks you can make to make it work inside too. So one of the things is to recall your dog to a heel. And if you need to, you can have your dog drag a leash, and when you call them to you, you can pick up the leash as you're walking. It takes some practice, I'm not gonna lie. And then say heel. So it causes like a run to you, and then a sudden slow down. So we'll see if Truman can do it with me multitasking, especially after playing. Usually we'll do easy patterning on leash before we do this, but let's just see. Truman, come. Yeah, good boy, come. Heel. Slow walking. Heel. Let's go. Nope. Hey, I'm just gonna tap my leg for some guidance. Good. Heel. See? Messy. It's okay. This is where you'd like pick up a leash and guide if you needed to. This isn't about being perfect. It's about playing around with your dog. Come. Good. Heel. Sit. Good. Good job. Down. Down. There you go. Truman, heel. Heel. Good. Just slowing him down a bit. Good. Place. Good boy. Truman, come. Yeah, good boy. Place. Yes. Oh, good job, buddy. Good boy. You want a belly rub? You want a belly rub? Oh, yeah. Oh, belly rub. Oh, yeah. Oh, belly rub. Oh, yeah. Oh, you're doing good. Good job. So I'm going to scroll up a bit from a 4 to a 7. Because he might need it after that excitement. Truman, come. Yeah, good boy. Come. Heel. No, you did good. But here's the thing. His owners do that. No. Good. Where are you going? You want to heel over there? Sit. Usually I don't say sit. We just pause. But he's off leash and he kind of needs a little bit more help. So, place. But his owners do that. He's kind of probably going to be whining a little bit. And a 7 might not do it. They might not need to be at a 15 to really set a clear boundary that just because I'm petting you, just because this is more fun, doesn't mean you don't have to listen anymore. So sorry, let me say that again. Even though I'm petting you, we're having fun, we're playing fetch, I rub your belly, doesn't mean that you ignore the next command. And so normally your dog might listen at a 4-5 tap. Or if you're just doing leash, they might just listen with a little leash guidance, just a little pressure. That's all you need. You don't need to correct your dog. But then you want to add in some play, some affection, some fun, they're going to push you more. They're going to be less likely to listen. That's normal. Hey, bud. Nope, 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 nope. It's like, oh, man, this again. Like, this lady doesn't let me do anything. Sorry, interpreting for Truman. So anyway, it's really important to understand, yeah, your levels might go up. Firmer leash pop, firmer e-collar level, firmer tone of voice, body pressure moving in. I mean, whatever you're using, that's going to change depending on what you do. The more freedom your dog gets, then probably the higher corrections he's going to need occasionally just to remind him that he doesn't rule the roost. Truman, come. Yeah, good boy. Let's go. Let's go. Good job. Place. What is that? What you doing, bud? So like that right there, I'm going to scroll to a 10. Place. So that's higher than I would normally be. But I'm all fun. Woohoo! You know, get over here. And so that's going to make him more likely to get distracted because I'm being so fun, right? So I'll just hold him higher accountable. Now, it's not good to do this all the time. Don't get your dog amped up all the time, please, and then hold him highly accountable. That's not fair. Help him with slow work, too. Definitely. And slow pets, not always like, woohoo! I'm just trying to give you guys an example of what happens to, you know, a lot of people when they do training or one-on-one lessons and aren't as thorough as what we do. And they're kind of trying to toe that line between freedom and a little bit of structure. Dog's just not getting it. They need to slow down. They need to pull some affection. Get some good muscle memory in with the dog first before trying to add some of this back in. Good job, buddy. Now, obviously, this is going to be easier for me than his owners, but hopefully this gives them a good idea of what they can start doing incrementally. Not every time they put them in place, make a big to-do about it, but just adding these little things in here and there. Doing a belly rub at night, and then going and, sorry about the wine glass, then going and sitting on the couch, and then the dog doesn't want to stay in place, or they're whining at you, or staring at you because you just rubbed his belly. They want to get up on the couch with you. You correct that. You correct that. So you're setting a whole nother level of boundaries. So for our program, it's not just like super, super strict, you know, call them really easygoing, boring dogs, like boring dog life. You do that at first, but then there's another stage you got to go through, especially for such a guy that gets so easily amped up like Truman. It's not the easiest to troubleshoot. I'm trying to make it seem easy. But Truman gets very easily aroused, so it might be a bit tough, a lot of playing around. Truman, come. Yeah, good boy. Come. Oh, another example, one more example. I know this is a long video. Place that I'm going to use is that, let's say he hasn't reacted to any dog in a month. And if they do have to tap the button, they're at like a 7, 8, 9. Well, you start adding in a belly rub every other night and some pets on the head. And a little bit of fetch. You start adding some of these things in, even a little bit. Next time he sees a dog, it might need a 20. Stuff like that is common. Look at that tongue. Look at that fantastic tongue. We love that tongue.